So it's only a certain amount of days until the season finale, and we're just now seeing that it's episode 10 leaked scenes from Talking Thrones. Let's check this out.
The realm. Do you know what the realm is? It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agreed to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon video. In this new video, I will be discussing everything that will happen in House of the Dragon Season 1 finale on this Sunday. If you do not want to know what will be happening in the final episode, I would highly recommend shutting off this video right now. As you all know, we're now only days away from finally seeing how the Dance of the Dragons will begin. Most of us had been waiting to see this ever since we first heard HBO was developing this show back when Game of Thrones was airing its final season over 3 years ago. In this video, I want to go over every major scene that will happen in the final episode. If you saw HBO's official new video after the most recent episode aired, then you know the Season 1 finale will begin with Rhaenyra finding out about her father's death, as well as Aegon's coronation. Now, according to this leak, it will be Daemon Targaryen who informs Rhaenyra about this information. These shocking revelations will send Rhaenyra into labor, and she will unfortunately lose her daughter. Not only does she lose the baby, but she also finds out it's malformed, very similar to what happened to Daenerys' baby in the first season of Game of Thrones. Shortly after this, a funeral is held for Rhaenyra's daughter, who she had named Visenya. Now, if you've read Fire and Blood, then you know this event sends Rhaenyra into a black fury, and she vows to defeat her enemies and get back what is rightfully hers. It doesn't say whether or not this happens here, but I have to imagine it will. It also says Daemon will use his dragon Caraxes to force the Kingsguard on Dragonstone into swearing fealty for Rhaenyra. Afterwards, she is given her father's crown, which we have seen in photos already. One of the Cargill brothers of the Kingsguard who fled King's Landing with Rhaenys will bend his knee and give Viserys' crown to Rhaenyra. Then we will see them hold their first Black Council meeting. We've already seen several photos of this as well. In Rhaenyra's Black Council is Daemon, Rhaenys, Lord Corlys Velaryon, Rhaenyra's sons Jace and Luke, as well as her new members of the Kingsguard. They will be holding these Black Council meetings in the same location on Dragonstone where we've seen Stannis and Daenerys in Game of Thrones. Now, during this episode, Ser Otto will arrive on Dragonstone with what he believes is a generous offer for Rhaenyra. It will say if she bends her knee and accepts Aegon as her new king, they will allow her to be the Lady of Dragonstone, and her son Lucerys will be given Driftmark. It also says Ser Otto will hand her something from Alicent. It's from one of the history books they were reading in the first episode. This is a reminder that Rhaenyra and Alicent were former friends. It does look like this scene is happening in HBO's official video. Once again, we do see Daemon and Ser Otto in a standoff while it looks like Rhaenyra is standing right in the middle of them while holding this letter in her hand. You can see she's also wearing her father's crown on her head. Later in the episode, it does say Rhaenyra will consider the offer. Instead of losing thousands of lives as well as many dragons, Rhaenyra says they should focus on the threat that lies in the north beyond the wall. This will make Daemon furious because no one has said anything about it before. It says he will then walk out onto the beach of Dragonstone and release a lifetime of emotion. That must be what's happening in these set photos right here. It does look like he's very emotional in these photos, and this scene hasn't been in any of the episodes yet. Eventually, we will see Lord Corlys Velaryon recover from his injuries suffered in battle. Rhaenys will let him know about everything that happened while he was away. He will swear fealty to Rhaenyra and join her Black Council. Rhaenyra will then inform her sons about the offer from King's Landing. Her son Jace will say the Greens will not honor them for very long. This is when they decide they will need more allies on her side. As of right now, Lady Jane Arryn of the Vale, Lord Stark of Winterfell, and Lord Baratheon of Storm's End have yet to swear fealty to either side. Rhaenyra's sons Jace and Luke will volunteer to go to these houses on Dragonback in hopes of winning them over for their mother. As you all know, she will need all the help she can get. That's when Rhaenyra will reluctantly agree to let them go, so long as they go as envoys only. She does not want them entering the fight. Rhaenyra then gives her son Luke one last hug before he leaves Dragonstone. We will then see Daemon go into the cave on Dragonstone where Vermithor has made his home. Daemon will sing to the dragon in High Valyria, and he lets Vermithor know he will find him a new rider. We have also seen several photos of this scene as well. Now, in one of the greatest sequences of this season, Rhaenyra's son Lucerys will arrive at Storm's End, the home of House Baratheon. When he does arrive, he will see Aemond and Vhagar are already there. As a matter of fact, Aemond has already been there for days, making fast friends with Lord Baratheon. During this scene, Aemond will demand an eye for an eye, and we will see that Aemond now has a sapphire in his eye socket. Now, before any blood is shed under Lord Baratheon's roof, he stops the boys from fighting. He will make little Lucerys leave, but unfortunately for him, Aemond will not be far behind. Exactly how it's described in George R. R. Martin's Fire and Blood, there's an incredible lightning and thunderstorm right outside of the castle over Shipbreaker Bay. Now, because Lucerys has a very small dragon, he's actually a lot swifter than Vhagar. As a matter of fact, he might have even outflown Vhagar if the weather was much better. However, as you can see in HBO's photos and videos, the weather will be a major issue for Lucerys and his dragon. Vhagar will snap his dragon's neck in half before swallowing Lucerys whole. When the news of this gets back to Dragonstone, it's Daemon who reveals it to Rhaenyra. Now, if she doesn't go into a black fury after losing her newborn daughter, then she will definitely after this. The fun and games are all over as soon as someone's son gets slaughtered like Lucerys does here. Now, there's also a few notes that say Jace's scene will not be until the second season. We will not see him fly or land at the Vale or Winterfell in the final episode. They are saving this scene for the first episode of the second season. They still have to find actors for Lady Jane Arryn and Lord Cregan Stark. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is how the first season will end. Let me know if you think House of the Dragon lives up to your expectations or not. I think this final scene of Aemond and Vhagar is a great way of ending the first season. I can't believe we're finally about to see it get brought to life. From what I've seen in HBO's photos and videos, it does look incredible already. It more or less looks exactly how I imagined it while reading the scene from Fire and Blood. Let me know what all of you think down below. Remember, even after the first season is over, I will be making videos during the entire off-season. While everyone else goes on hiatus during the off-season, I will be here releasing videos for the foreseeable future. Like I've said before, I will be here until the very end. As always, I want to thank all of you for showing love and watching my videos. I hope all of you have a great day. I will see you again very soon. Bye.
Definitely can't wait for this because just like I imagine that it will be left on the cliffhanger of Lucerys dying at the hands of Aemon and his dragon Vhagar, and that's like the cliffhanger. Like you're gonna see him like as he explained, I'm like, damn, the dragon gonna swallow the boy whole. Jesus Christ! And then Daemon going up to Rhaenyra and saying, hey, this is what happened. And then it just cuts, like you kind of see her like, dang, then it just cuts off, you know? So I'm hoping of more of that effect to be like, yeah, it's about to get real. As soon as we see this again for season 2, it's going to get real and it's not going to stop until you see who's left at the end. So that's why I tell myself with this is definitely like a 4-season buildup. And by that time, you know, I think they're going to have a lot more Game of Thrones lore. As this is already proceeding, like, you know, I think Jon Snow or Kit Harington is going to make that Jon Snow with people of old Game of Thrones, continuing Game of Thrones, and then just branching out from that. So, yeah, we're in the Game of Thrones universe, and I love every minute of it. I'm pretty sure for book readers who were actually envisioning this scene with Aemon and Lucerys, that they just go at it. Yeah. I think I've never seen the weather play a factor in any battle, so that's why I'm like, this is like the first for Game of Thrones for me actually seeing it. Like the weather where it's really raining, it's thundering and lightning, and they got a dragon battle. I'm like, you get those raining, you know, fights, but for dragons, yeah, this is the first. So, you guys enjoyed my reaction to Season 1, Episode 10 leaked scenes from House of the Dragon. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Talking Thrones, because that's where I go when I want to know anything about Game of Thrones. I go to Talking Thrones. He is, just like he said, he's there in the off season, he's there in season. That knowledge, this is where I go. Subscribe to him, subscribe to my channel. Post comment down below, like the video. It's your boy, D Dyson. Peace.